Okay. Nice long description. What transpired? Me, yes. I have questions. Here's a bunch of reasonable follow-up questions. A response a week later from the day that I know that the email was acquired because it was mentioned to me. The sentence is, I wanted to follow up with you about the context that we gave you last week. Well, I've been posting videos, so what else would you like to know? I am assuming politely that the goal is an increase in diplopia than I had before with any of the other trial contact lenses or glasses or whatever. Like, diplopia for distance is definitely meaningful, and the more that we can get my eyes to be forced in nasally, the better. So I think they're really working out. And by that, I mean they're not working. And I think I could really benefit from some kind of prism assistance, because let's assume that the best thing that one can do for myself is to match completely incongruent pictures together, because they're absolutely not the same, and not like a little bit off, but like nearsighted, farsighted off, as far as the level of the discrepancy in size and shape between the two eyes, even though nobody seems to get that. Also, if that man asks me one more time, which is better, red or green, I'm going to say neither until he gives up, because I'm not a good narrator. And if he wants to know if this is the correct lens, then he should stick each eyeball in front of the autorefractor, because it's going to give a better description than me. Just saying. Okay. I'm just going to buy an autorefractor. Fuck it. Might as well document this. Yay. So we're going to do divergence at near, convergence at near, and then we'll flip the red and green to the opposite sides, and then we'll do the distance, and then we'll do the Randot crap. Okay, so 530 something, 532, so 537. Got it. Let's make these pop. What did I say? Divergence and then convergence. Okay. Well, all the same visual complaints that I mentioned in the other videos. So cool. I don't know. These are popping pretty far forward. Maybe I neglected to figure out which one this is. I bet. Let me see. Oh, I did the convergence one. Well, we're already here. I can get them to all pop so long as I just stare blankly and don't try to look at anything. You know, just keep everything unfocused. As long as it's blurry. That's why I can't take selfies anymore, is because my assumption is for the eyes to be lined up, I guess it's got to be blurry. Can't even tell if my face is oriented correctly. Yeah, they're all popping, and I can see the varying depths between them. things are still not lined up in the center of those circles or like stable and on, but who cares? Is it time yet? Is it at 8 or 5? Shoot. 2 more minutes. I mean, let's face it, do I really need convergence? But okay. I mean, I guess apparently to an extent I do because the things are not in line, but I don't think that is going to be a phenomenon that happens for yours truly. I don't know. Let's say 2. 1 more minute, Jesus. Super love the way I try to line up like one of the pictures and all of the other pictures come like way forward. Which I kind of think is missing the point, but okay. Okay, gotta be done now. Yeah, great. Next. Divergence at a near distance. Let's just say a little prayer. And stare. I think my nose is crooked on my face or something. Staring blankly. Praying for things to stop doubling. I mean, for all I know, one crossed in and the other one started to wander out. All right, we almost got one. Almost one misaligned circle. I'm going to do it the 7. 7 plus 5 is 2 at the 42. Well, that'll teach me to do the convergent one first, because and ironically, the only way to get like the easier one is to stare as hard as possible at the harder one. And by stare, I don't mean focus. I just mean like stare like a psychopath. Yeah, it really feels like my left eye needs to turn out, but that's not a thing. Even though I have like tried to explain. Come on, hurry up. Theoretically, if you like touch where they should be together, it can help. And that would mean something if it would stand still long enough. I think it's called continuous flash suppression, where it's like switching the images rapidly. And it's not like moving side to side. It's like I can see which one is trying to hold the image. Well, obviously that's great. We're never going to diverge our eyes now. One more minute. Because none of these have worked. That's super depressing. But you know what? All the VTs were really fixated, pun intended, on convergence because as an old person, I'm supposed to have a hard time with that. I always was one to disappoint. Kinda. I just have to stare at one single one and tune out everything else, and I can make the whole thing kind of float. But heaven help me if I wanted to like look at something. God, can you imagine driving the car like this? Well, funny that you ask. Yes, I can. What am I doing? Oh, look, see, I can sort of control it, but not only when I have that visual feedback. Also, that sucked because neither one of those would focus at the near target of my phone, which is cool because I think that the goal was to perturb being able to do any near firework. Okay, let's look at our kangaroos. What is this? 43 plus 5 is 8. 48. Theoretical distance, floaty kangaroos. And I'm just going to stare because who cares? Maybe I'll get lucky. My brain and eyes will do it for me if I just sit here and like stare. Anyway, as I was saying, I think that I could use some prism support, like here. Put your eyes here. Just use this for reading for near. Then they'll get used to being in that position when you're going to read for near. That would make sense. Or use these prisms for far, because this is where your eyes should be positioned when you look around at far, like driving. That would make sense. They could practice holding that position. I think it'd have to be phased into and out of prisms. because too big of a jump is going to do what Dr. S did and cause that sharp turn on both sides instead of just one. And worse, thinking that you're looking forward, when at least before I would know that there was a problem. That was actually something that came up because I know that I came to you because I was specifically referred for the scleral lens. I noticed that we have not done specifically the scleral lens, which is what they recommended me to seek you out for. And yet, no joke, we're doing contact lenses that are not specific enough to my prescription, in my humble opinion. The shortest trial of apparently only a base up and down prism unilaterally, even though my primary complaint is not that. And then finally, if this isn't VT, I don't know what is. And it's going even worse than all of the other times of VT. So, which by the way, yes, I can still make an autostereogram pop. But meanwhile, I am like, let me get this straight. I have an increase in doubling. My selfies look absolutely, literally retarded. Like it looks like there is something wrong. And the contacts dry out so quickly. It's just intolerable. Probably because I'm straining so hard to see because everything is double. Driving the car is an absolute total disaster. So how come we're doing the exact same thing that everyone else did and pretending to be surprised that it's going just as well as it did for everyone else, which is awful. But we tried contacts that weren't specific to your weird prescription, and we tried VT and the shortest prism trial ever. You know what? What about the scleral lenses? I'm not super excited about those, but willing to try. Hey, what about Ortho-K, just to take my myopia down a couple of pegs? Willing to try, but I notice we're not doing that either. If you weren't going to try anything new and you were just going to do the same thing that everyone else did, in fact, even less because you only use the autorefractor one time and you keep asking me for my subjective experiences, which is chaos, I don't know why you would ever trust me, then why are you wasting your own time if you're not even going to help? Or respond to an email with like a half dozen questions about like, is this what I can expect? But I already know that this is what I can expect. So where am I? Shoot, it's on my phone. Well, I'll put it in the little descriptive notes with a bunch of hashtags of where I'm at, because if this is what you can expect, like, might as well let everybody know, hey, you're an adult and you're not an adorable kid. Then if you have problems with your eyes as an aging person in a technological world, that's too bad. Should have tried harder. Here I thought that I was going to get someone to like communicate with me and send me a substantial email about like what I can expect for the course of treatment to be. Like, hey, what's your intention? How can we get me to see more comfortably? Because I'm doing the infantilizing VT, which is not working. I'm seeing double everywhere I go. My selfies look ridiculous. How is this better? Like, this is worse. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I need a single distance vision contact and then like the lowest plus ever for extremely near work. for like a reading set of glasses or whatever, but like, this is visually taxing. Somebody please intervene. And I've obviously been humiliated, spent a ridiculous sum of money, and continuing to just hemorrhage money that we don't have for God. It's not even cures. It's like I keep paying people to make me actively worse, and then I have to just revert back to my 2018 glasses where at least shit is won. And I know where the lines are on the pavement, for God's sakes. Anyway, usually I would make another one of these, but I just suffered through all that VT. Oh, frack, I forgot this. Okay. Let's do this and pretend it is going to be a thing. Yeah, if I really defocus my eyes, I'm sure I could see something somewhere ever. They're always worse quality. Nothing has changed. Honestly, there's not really any point in continuing to like wear these contacts and get this to work, because frankly, I know that I can get this to work and I am not able to do it in these contacts. Probably because after all of this, I can't get my eyes to diverge like at all. Whatever the deal is with your ratio of accommodative convergence or convergence accommodation or whatever, it's like, what if we made it worse? So that if she tries to focus even the tiniest bit, her eyes go straight into her face. And let's make it not even either. And also let's make it a surprise, so that if somebody tries to treat just one of her eyes, then the other one turns to... And since no one is watching these and no one is really responding to my boatload of email questions, you know, like, is my treatment / response going as intended so far? I mean, that's a yes or no question. Okay, does that mean the subsequent base down prism over the same eye the following week was intended to condition my extraocular muscles to work in a more correct alignment? That's a yes or no, and I assume that the answer is yes, but also, hey, nobody answered. I mentioned, please let me know what options might be available for me. I'm guessing that's these contacts or nothing, right? Like that's it, because why else wouldn't you respond to my concerns? Also, this is still my left eye, in case we weren't sure. It takes every bit of resilience that I don't have with like a chronic cancer patient. I can't see anything and I'm constantly gaslit. Someone who was like an immediate family member committed suicide a 1.5 years ago. The damn dog died 2 weeks ago. Like, all of those things are overcomeable, but it is difficult to have the resilience for everything else when I am constantly gaslit, not just by my eyes, but by the eye care industry that is like, what if we tried harder? Like, I haven't been trying. Like, I'm not constantly trying to see the world in stereoscopic vision like I was used to up until the time I was like 37, for Christ's sakes. this has been the most miserable time, and no one is coming to help me. And so when people say, well, if you do the implants, then you're still gonna have eye teaming issues or whatever. Okay, well, I have those now. How about if I have eye teaming issues just like right now, and I don't have to fiddle with bulky contacts or glasses, for Christ's sakes. You know, it was fun. An eyelash fell in one of my contacts that was already like dried out while I was trying to make a left turn in a major intersection. And it was like, oh God. And it was like debilitating to the point where I could barely drive the damn car, which I'm someone that can get on 35 at Dallas Drive in Denton, Texas, and like take my hoodie off, not the zipper one, but like the complicated one, while keeping my seatbelt on and also my glasses. So like, if I'm saying I almost can't drive the car because eyelash fell in my dried out contact, I think it might have been a real issue. Like significant pain. But it doesn't matter because how are my contacts working out? Never mind about all my questions. I'm gonna be such a bitter old lady, and that's very sad. Well, I don't really believe that anyone's watching this. Except for my mom. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, I continue trying to survive and see. And by doing that alone, I feel like that is a constant middle finger to the eye care industry, because I'm sorry that you have to have patients, you know, in and out in so many minutes. And, you know, that man has actually billed me for contact lens fittings, like every time. So it's been like $300. And that guy has not looked at any of these contacts on my actual eyeballs under the slit lamp, like, ever. I still have some kind of astigmatism. I know it's not like regular shaped, for heaven's sakes. Don't you at least want to see that it's doing okay? Especially if you're going to bill me for it. But whatever. Y'all got your money out of me. And found, well, first you tried to blame it on a head injury that happened years after I had visual complaints. Good try. And so now the fact that these two eyes, the pictures, it's like, here's one and here's the other. Now make this stereoscopic, and I cannot. And it's like, well, that must be because of like suppression or continuous flash suppression. So you should fuse those. Bro, you are not getting it. I cannot fuse a car and a house in the same spot. No one can. That's literally why they set the research up that way. Okay, well, I guess that's the end.